Hello, my name is Brittany, and this is original and unique content for the brand new travel channel, um, Travel Inspired on YouTube. Today is Tuesday, February 1st, and I'm going to talk for the next 9 minutes about finding things to do while you're traveling. So, for those of you who will watch my last 3 videos, I am currently planning a trip to Colombia for a month of time. And I'm just in the middle of doing some research, and you can all follow along with that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so one of the things that I know I want to do is spend at least a few days in Cartagena. So Cartagena is a pretty big tourist destination in Colombia. And I want to see what kind of things I can get up to on my own. So I will be traveling alone. And I think it's incredibly important for a solo female traveler to do research prior to their trip. If you are not going to book with a tour and you're only going to be by yourself, doing research on the safer places to go, the more touristy places, or maybe the less touristy places that are still suitable for people to travel to, and then maybe the barrios that are less savory, or just places that are known for drugs or other crime that maybe you just don't want to travel to. You have to know those things ahead of time, I think, in a lot of cases. I'm not the kind of person who likes to book out my entire trip in advance, because I think it's very important to leave room for spontaneity and meeting new friends and doing new activities that maybe you just can't plan for. But at the same time, on the other hand, booking out or discovering the things that are maybe a little safer to do in the country or the city that you're visiting as a solo female traveler, I think that's incredibly important. So when I'm going to a new place on my own, I like to just do a pretty simple Google search. And Lonely Planet is a great source of information. I also like to check out the travel website for the destination in particular. I think that is quite important. They usually have great inspiration. Sometimes they have discounted tickets or deals going on, um, that kind of thing. So we are now heading towards the Colombia Department of Tourism. This is their official website. And they tend to have things like practical information. I love this. I want to read more about practical information that they suggest. You know, they live there. So are there any vaccines that I should be getting? You know, is there anything I need to know more about Colombia itself? Visas, currency, weather, that kind of thing. So, well, let's go back. We, particularly right now, I'm interested in getting to know a little more about Cartagena. So I traveled in Mexico for 6 months on my own, and I speak a little bit of Spanish. I took lessons while I was in Mexico, and I did a lot of Mexico on my own, not with trips or any of those things. So my Spanish got good enough that I feel incredibly comfortable navigating most Spanish-speaking places without a guide, which I think, as a solo female traveler, if I were not comfortable with that, hiring a guide in a lot of places would be very helpful. With that being said, I do actually hire guides for things like food when I'm in a new city. Oh, this looks lovely. So I do want to research things that I can do alone. whether that is a self-guided walking tour or certain types of food that I could potentially eat while I'm in Colombia that I can find on my own. Churches or other monuments that I can tour on my own, that kind of thing. So it sounds like Gethsemane, yeah, Gethsemane, could be a good neighborhood to explore. Los Zapatos Viejos is a monument, I guess. Other activity, Naval Museum. Not quite so interested in that. This skyline reminds me a lot of Ciudad de Panama, which is an interesting city to visit. It's very old world meets new world kind of thing. So history, it looks like International Music Festival, that would be pretty fun. So it's just giving me a little bit of a overview. I don't want to do things that are, I want to hit all of the touristy, must see, but I also really love getting to know cities and countries through their people and their food. And I'd love to explore a little bit like off the beaten path. So I do want to see all of their like must-see recommendations, but I want to, wow, that's a beautiful photo. That's also a beautiful photo. I really want to know all of like the little things that I can sort of get to know while I'm there. Like, what's this woman's story? That's very interesting. So what can we do in Cartagena? Cartagena de Indias. Tour of the Historic Center. Diving. I don't have a diving certification, but I do like snorkeling, so that could potentially be fun. Sustainable and ecotourism. Yeah. Oh, let's look at this. Okay, sustainable and eco-friendly tourism. I only have a few more minutes here to talk to you about some of this stuff. Barranquilla, so that is one place that I've been thinking about going on a little day trip. Blue flags in Colombia. World famous beaches. Foundation for Environmental Education. I think this is actually quite important, and I am going to bookmark this to read it in depth some other time. I always love finding the official tourism destinations or the official tourism sites when I'm visiting a new city. So let's also maybe go to Pinterest. I am one of those people who love using Pinterest to find things to do when I'm traveling. I love hearing people's opinions. I do think that places like Pinterest are, well, they're a little bit of, there's a lot of repetition there. I think sometimes it can be really hard to find off the beaten path information when you're on Pinterest, travel bloggers and that kind of thing. Oh, I spelled Cartagena incorrectly. I think I also spelled that incorrectly. Okay, so next time, I think we're out of time here. We are. So next time I will dive deeper into this topic. So that is kind of how I start researching for a trip. Thanks, everyone.